panic was caused by the mainstream media and the way that they handled it purposely so that they could make 4.9 billion vaccinations and try to have a H1N1 vaccination campaign out of the CDC. By the way, this is sensitive but unclassified. It is not for further distribution outside of official use only. And again, thank God for WikiLeaks. They're planning on doing it. This is the CDC document. Do you understand? They want to put a needle in your arm for something you're not going to get. Do you get it? All right, let's jump to some callers. Sam in New York. Sam, you're on the line. Let's go to Sabian in Texas. Sabian, you're on the line.
Hey, Jason, it's Sabian, man. This is a little off topic, but my young one is actually up for a doctor appointment, and I know she's going to get some shots. I've listened in to you and Alex, and I've respected you guys, completely. Mm-hmm. And I want to know, I guess, how to go about, talking about the vaccinations and bringing it up towards the doctor without causing a, sort of a ruckus. I don't want to get, like the parent that's refusing chemo for her kid, get yelled at.
She's on the run, by the way. I didn't get to go over that, but yeah, she's on the run, and I think the lawyers actually contacted our office. We'll see if we'll have them on eventually. I don't think it's going to be that far no matter what you do, but with everything that's going on in the office, there's been a lot of talk about children, and another girl who works here, her pediatrician was trying to give her kid the hepatitis B shot, and it's a baby. I mean, I think it's 2 months, if it's 2 months, and she's like, no, you're not going to do this. She had to change pediatricians, and that pediatrician actually threatened to call CPS on her to let them know that she wasn't giving her baby the shot. So CPS will probably eventually come after you. It's an unfortunate reality. But listen, being honest with you, man. But that doesn't mean that you should drug your kid. Number one, I wouldn't suggest that you get any of the vaccinations. You say, well, actually, I'm looking for the conscientious objector waivers so that I don't have to do this. And then you take it from there, and then they say there are none. And you say, listen, I know that there are no laws that I have to vaccinate my child, and if I do have to change pediatricians, that'll be an unfortunate event, but I'm not going to vaccinate my child. If it really gets down to the nitty-gritty, just make sure that you're not going to, and I wouldn't give them any, like I said, but make sure your kid's not taking multiple vaccinations on the same day or in a row. Space them out. Even doctors that, for instance, I'm listening to Bubble of Love Spenge a couple of weeks ago, father and son doctor team, and they are going off about the vaccinations and being like, listen, you injure a lot of children. A lot of children are becoming autistic because of this. They talked about the Gardasil shot, they're trying to, I read on air yesterday that they injured 1,300 people, admittedly, in the UK with this Gardasil shot, and they said to save 700 lives. Meanwhile, the people that they injured are 12 and 13-year-old girls, some of which became paralyzed. So you're saving 700 lives. That's a made-up number. That's total Johnny nonsense. And even if it was true, it would be the lives of people in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, their 60s. You're ruining the life of a child who is 12 or 13. So say you want to see the conscientious objection waivers. I know there's not a law. And, if you do, fall prey to this, they might pull the cops in. I'm not going to lie. They do pull these, strong-arm tactics. You space out the vaccinations if you're going to give them to your kids, and I wouldn't dare give them to my children. I thank you for the call, Sabian. Let's go to Anti-Federalist in New Hampshire. Anti-Federalist, you're on the line.
Hey, Jason, how are you this evening?
Good.
Well, I was going to shift gears on you a little bit, but we're kind of going in the right direction. Mm-hmm. And this is concerning the case of the woman in your office, Janet Sanchez, mm-hmm. and her little daughter, Haley. Mm-hmm. I was listening about that today. And first off, what I'd like to do is I'd like to contribute to their legal defense, wondering where the best place that might be to do that.
All right, legal tips at Infowars.com is who you want to email to give out any donations or any advice. That's who you need to contact. I'm not sure who's going through that, but that actually may be Janet herself, since she does work in the customer service department. They may have actually given her that email and then possibly given her husband access to it as well. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, great. And, along those lines, perhaps I can contact her. I'd love to see a chip-in or something like that get started for her for a legal defense, and pass the word around as much as we can to contribute as much as we can.
Well, I got to tell you, there's been a lot of media attention after the show. Several news agencies called us, interviewed Alex, and we actually had one local Austin news station come into the studio and interview Alex. So I think you're going to be actually seeing this story blow up on a national level.
Is it your sense, your feeling that that they may back off, that it may not go as far as having to take legal action against these monsters?
Well, that's the point. We're hoping that through these this media activity that they will back off. But let's see how the media reports on it. The media is treacherous. It's backstabbing. Let's see if they were smiling to our face only to cut our throats as they're behind us. So, if it's negative press, they may want to end up bringing this to court. If it is, positive press on our end, maybe they will back off. But, we're trying to take out every toolbox in the arsenal.
Right, I understand. And, certainly any way that I can help, the story just really touched me. And what more can you say? I mean, we all read about it. We all see it day after day. You see it. I see it. Alex,
it's incredible. I mean, this is like the quietest, sweetest girl in the office. I'm actually in the cubicle right next to her desk. I hear her all day, and she is... I think I've only said maybe like 10 words to her the entire few months I've been here. Hey, Janet, how you doing? Hey. And she's always super nice, super quiet, does her job. I was kind of in shock when, she came in this weekend while I was working on my movie. This is a good employee. This is somebody who's constantly on the phone with her daughter, by the way, or her husband concerning her daughter. I hear her calling up, hey, how's Haley? Is everything okay? For this to happen yesterday was just mind-blowing. A couple of the board ops, they leave during the day and they come back to do my show. They said, hey, man, did anything happen with Janet? And I told them, and they were just blown away because this is not her MO. This is not somebody who is abusing her child. You know what I mean? And it is very disturbing how far CPS is willing to take this.
No, you could see that just in the interview that she did today. It was very clear that she cared very deeply about her daughter, and certainly doesn't give the impression that there would be anything going on. I mean, these are the people that they seem to target.
Yeah, exactly.
People who they think they can push around.
Exactly. And, Haley, and I thank you for the call, was in office all day and, just watching music videos and hanging out, and just a sweet kid, totally sweet kid. Normal, well-adjusted, talking about the Jonas Brothers with the other customer service girl, very wholesome and kind of Disney-orientated, if you will. She's talking about dance school, and she's singing along to the songs. I would be full force, red in the face, ready to go if that were my kid and someone was trying to take it away. I don't know, because I'm not a parent. Thank the Lord. Because you mess with my niece, and I get fired up. I can't imagine if it was my child. All right, let's go to Julian in Montana. Julian, you're on the line.
Hi, Jason. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I was listening to Alex earlier, and we just got to when the family came on, and I get a call from a relative of mine who is working at the White House. Mm-hmm. He's an architect. Apparently they're doing some things there, putting in a basketball court, I hear. Mm-hmm. And he calls me up. He's all frantic, and he goes, let me tell you what happened to me today. And I said, what? He goes, I got in this briefing with members of the Department of Interior and people from the White House, and at the end of it, he tried to shake this man's hand. The man from the Department of Interior says, no, we don't shake hands anymore because of the swine flu, okay? Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, you know what? Again, they're really going to try to vaccinate. Listen, they're not making 4.9 billion vaccinations to put them on the shelf. They're to put in the entire world populace. And I'm not reading CDC documents dated from Monday and Wednesday where they outline their day of planning for H1N1 vaccinations. We're going to need a story about this up on Infowars.com. I'm probably going to have to email these links to Kurt and Paul. But it is just incredible to me that, I saw the fear-mongering. It's kind of laid down. But remember, they set the framework where they said, as soon as flu season comes back, this swine flu is going to make a comeback. And you watch. I bet you that when the actual flu hits, they're going to be like 20 deaths in the first week. And they are going to play them up with the fear-mongering to the max. And they'll have this program in place, ready to go, to stick you in the arm with the tasty, delicious vaccination that we oh so love.
Well, there's more to it. My stepdad, he says, what do you mean? What do you mean the swine flu? The guy's like, all these people have died. And he goes, He goes, no, nobody's died. This swine flu, it basically doesn't